Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. Before I get on with the normal content, I really had a question: where next for Bitcoin? So I'm going to cover that off first, which is a different order for today. But anyway, looking at where next for Bitcoin, got a lot of questions coming in about this in terms of is people still holding on to Bitcoin? Is it still going to go down? Well, no one actually knows the answer for sure, but I've done a bit of analysis looking at the wave structure of Bitcoin, and it certainly would appear that we're in a wave system which is running just like we're here, and we don't know where this next level is. Of course, that's the great unknown, and if anyone really knew that, write to me on a postcard. But we can guess, but we can take a bit of a lead from what sort of happens in terms of these cycles. And if you're looking at the old Elliott Wave type analysis, which I am here at the moment, is you'll see there's a clear down wave there. It's retraced clearly, and it's on a downward trace at the moment. The one thing that within these sort of rules in the Elliott waves is the third wave can't be the shortest. So and certainly it's normally at least equal to or larger than the first wave. So it gives us a bit of a clue in those types of rules, which if I take this drawing off now, let's get rid of that, he says. There we go. If I take this drawing off, you can see the way. Actually, let's just come down to a daily view so you can see the waves a little bit clearer. It's not absolute precision here. I need to just move that across a little bit. There we go. And the whole of this type of analysis isn't absolutely precise. I mean, there will be overflow in terms of what happens. In fact, what you can see here is the retrace to the lows up to the highs here, and then we're looking at the, as I say, the third wave of this action. And within the waves, you've got waves, but I'm not going to go into detail there. What I just wanted to show here is the waves where we are at the moment. We're compared to that first wave that I talked about, we're sitting there with 6.618, which is a key fib number in terms of retracements. It's sitting there at support at the moment. Where next in this analysis, it could go back down towards on a one-to-one basis, as low as the sort of 25s, 26s sort of area. We have got a trend line around there. It could come short, slightly short. As I said, there isn't absolute precision with these things. It's just estimates, effectively, using analysis that's been tried and tested for years. But everyone gets it wrong at some time. But I just wanted to give you some sort of ideas so you understood where it could go. 1272 is a regular extension there. That would take us down to 17,000. I know you don't want to hear these numbers. And the bigger retrace that we sometimes see and often see, it takes us right the way down to 8,000. I'm not suggesting it will go all the way down to 8,000 for a moment. I think there's too many big whales out there that will be buying up at certain levels. But these are just sort of points where it could go, of course. Looking aside of that, then I'm going to come back to the weekly for a moment here and just look at other obvious places. I've been pointing these out recently. There is the lows of the recent bodies, which are not too far away from the 786 extension. This could be one that just doesn't get down beyond that level, and there you go. So we've got the bodies and the tails sitting around that area. The one-to-one sits around the trend line, major trend line here. So we have got some confluence sitting here. I could put some more moving averages on, and I'm sure there'll be some below here which could tie up to these sort of levels. Other horizontal support comes in the shape of all the way down here at 11,501. Now, as I say, I don't want to scaremonger into these sort of numbers. Realistically, I think it's more likely to find some support in these areas here. So there is some strong support areas below. I think the 1-to-1 has a half decent chance. We'll just see how that goes. But yeah, there we go. Some analysis. I know it's, if you're holding, you don't want to really be hearing this, but there we go. If you're looking to get in, well, these may be areas if you start seeing reversals. And the question I always then get is, well, when do you buy it? Well, when it shows you the signs that it's not just having a bit of a bounce, it's actually making a move up, and I'll talk about that in the future in my morning outlooks, etc. Right, so there you go. Just looking through the other markets, I haven't done quite the same analysis, but they're very similar. They follow following Bitcoin's sort of way generally. There is a bit of different wave structure differentials. They're in different parts of it, but there still is sort of this 1, 2, and this sort of third wave. So this corrective wave that is referred to, and it's just through the markets. Now, if you're trading other coins, Bitcoin is the place of safety. We're seeing Bitcoin versus Ethereum, for example, or Ethereum versus Bitcoin, but Bitcoin being the stronger one of the two, whichever way you look at it, is the stronger of the two, and you're just seeing the money running from some of these other coins towards Bitcoin. However, on a dollar basis, where we're seeing a strong dollar at the moment, we're seeing this price action. A lot of us buying dollars or pounds, and effectively we're seeing the value going out of this for now. Anyway, there we go. I just thought I'd cover that. Now, moving on to normal news. Actually, let's just bring that back into play. Normal news calendar. Looking at today, now I expect today to be relatively quiet. We've got the Fed meeting tomorrow. Now that could change things significantly, not only in these markets but of course in the Bitcoin markets. If we see the dollar being sold tomorrow, well, Bitcoin could get a decent bounce back up there, and you'll think well, what's he talking about it going lower? Well, there we are. We'll see, but it could also the dollar could be bought tomorrow, or some more. We'll see what comes from that, but no one knows at the end of the day. We can only guess, which is no point really. Looking overnight here, then news today. Inflation already out for Australia, higher figures than previously expected. So beating the forecast, high annual inflation sitting there. We're looking at quarter on quarter here, annualized figures are increased, and will put more pressure towards the Australians to increase rates at some point soon. Euro levels today, Euro IFO business climate, German climate there, it might create a bit of a move at 9 o'clock. Often it's less than 10 pips. Aside of that, there's not a great deal. Consumer confidence in the US this afternoon, again, not a big mover. But the real data comes tomorrow. The thing to take into account today is, of course, that we could see the market's quite quiet, maybe choppy, unless we just see a continuation of this political. Almost said nonsense. It's not nonsense at all, but political content continuing. We had Iran thrown in the equation yesterday in terms of willing to potentially talk to the US, and that gave us a bounce in the late afternoon there. In the markets, we saw the dollar coming off on that basis, but there's still a lot to be done out there. Anyway, yeah, so they can lead these markets. Looking at the, let's just come to the euro first, just run through these very quickly now. Euro is continuing its run down. This is in a wave of its own. If I was to come back out, here you go, there's the 1, 2, 3. This is more of an impulse wave, so it's got 5 waves in it, and at the moment it's in this, from what I can see anyway, it's in its 5th wave, so pushing south at the moment. So got potential for much more downside. I would expect at least those lows to be met at some point, so I still see the euro pushing down further and the dollar recovery continue. Daily wise, intraday wise, it's just come down a little bit. It's looking soft at the moment. We've got lower high confirmed yesterday when we put in yet another low. Yes, I'll do your nifty 50 today. Another low coming in there. I have been doing it for you. I don't know if you caught it. Okay, the pound going to go a bit even quicker now. he says. Pound continues in this corrective state as well. Lower highs been put on there on the daily basis. Looks pretty soft in general to me. I've been looking at sort of some measurements here to where to in this wave structure that we're sitting in. As you can see, the lines are still on here. We're pretty close to 1272. Could go even further. The way this is running at the moment, the power in this move, it's quite a strong move. We could see it coming all the way back down to the 133.77 even area even. So it's still looking soft overall. Daily wise, I would just be wary of we've got a daily pivot below. It could be a quiet day within all these markets today, as I've already said, and we could see this in the pound as well. You could just be chugging along, working into its daily pivot at some stage potentially. High probability of being hit always. If that gets hit and then we see a correction to the downside, that would make me happier to be on the downside. But as I've turned my auto trading off today, I don't expect too much volatility. Okay, yen is on again on a third wave by the looks of things. He has double bottomed at the moment and found a bit of a bounce off that double bottom. We're seeing money running safety running into this into the yen. This is where when things go wrong, we see money running in. I say wrong, but fearful. We see money run into the yen, to a lesser degree the euro, but certainly for the dollar, and dollar bonds get bought. Okay, chopping along here at these lows, a break of these lows could see a continuation, and that's what I'm really looking to see, if it can manage to break the 113.65 area. That's the dollar yen. Aussie dollar took a big hit yesterday. I was talking last week about the break of this trend. It happened on Friday. Yesterday, well, it's already started. It continued. Again, I was doing a bit of wave management on this, and well, hit my target spot on there at 1272 area. In fact, I was looking for slightly less than that. Anyway, went on to 1272. It's bounced once again. It's coming. It could correct from here a little bit, but the commodities are looking soft at the moment. So it's if it was to break this 71.82 area, well, then it's going into more of a bullish move altogether. But we've seen the commodities being sold. And with the Canadian dollar amongst it all, it really took a hit yesterday, running into its daily 50 in the end. Having a correction off that level, came in timely with the date news out there, just short of its 4-hourly 200. But looking on the well, soft side again. This is US dollar CAD, remember, looking soft still, and looks like there's more upside potential for now. I expect that to change at some point, but not yet. Okay, there's the main currencies. Let's have a quick look at commodities here. Sorry, a bit bumper today because we're doing crypto early. Gold, well, yesterday managed a positive day. It's to-ing and throwing, and I literally, I was showing where you can see the channel that's sort of sitting on here at the moment, and I've just come down to the hourly. There you go. There's the hourly channel that's somewhere in that region. It's probably should draw the top line a bit higher, but we're sitting in that chart. I mean, it's knocking on the door above there at the moment, more and more it would appear. Daily pivot is still below, so I'd like to see that clicked off if I was going long on it first. Because it's always a bit of a magnet, but a break of these highs would be positive. Okay, that's gold. Let's have a quick look. Sorry, that's not as it is. It's all right. I'm just checking. I didn't have silver on by mistake there. I thought I'd done all the analysis on gold yesterday, not silver. Anyway, moving on then. Oil. Now, oil struggled a little bit here. We've seen a bit of a correction over the last few days, and it is stalling a little bit in the movement, but the overall correction is not massive in the bigger scheme of things. It is putting lower highs, lower lows in at the moment, and it does look look quite soft. Now we could see a correction from these levels and eventually a push through. I've drawn the trend line partially on there. That could still come into play at some stage. I was talking about it yesterday morning in terms of it breaks that, then I'd be a buyer, but not down here I wouldn't, and it just kept me out the market. I just want to be trading in the direction of the bigger move. Now if it doesn't come, and it could well actually sell the way it's moving at the moment, this intermediate time frame, we could be rolling back towards yesterday's lows at this stage, an earlier move. But as I said, I don't really want to be on the other side of oil. I just only want to be on the long side at the moment, which at some point I'll be wrong, of course. It will correct bigger. Right, stronger dollar will of course see that coming through anyway. Right, let's quickly then go on to equity markets. Do apologise for the different direction we took this morning, but I just wanted to cover off some of that analysis. Let's have a look at over the night what's been going on here. I'm looking at the weekly picture. I keep coming back to this weekly picture on the CSI 300s just so you can see how much it's really the potential it's got of continuing to move to the downside. It just looks soft to me, and well, there you go. From a daily point of view, it's off again, and it's a position short really. It should have been a position short on the break of the trend maybe. It's very much a more downward direction it's sitting in at the moment. Likewise with Nikkei, they're both looking as similar sort of picture. If I run this out to a weekly, there you go. You can see the wedge it's sitting in. To me, it's got more downside for now. It's in a corrective move. The pound. The pound is sort of sitting there. The FTSE. I love the way I call the UK market. I keep thinking of it with a pound, that's all. Catching a bit of a bounce this morning, just opened, and catching a bit of a bounce, but the overall picture is still, to me now, maybe there's more correction to come. It could have a bit more of this could be a bit of a B wave within what's happening there. So, but at the moment, seeing a bit of a correction. The DAX is gapped up there, and it's just on its way closing its gap by the looks of things. I would imagine this morning it's just 8 o'clock candle, daily candle that is, beg your pardon. So it's over the session it's moved up higher there. Looks like it might have gapped, but anyway, probably more downside. The CAC lower highs again looking soft. So all these markets looking soft. S&P's soft. Lower highs. I'm going to go for it in a minute. It's coming the Nifty 50. Lower highs on the Nasdaq here again, all looking soft, as is the Dow Jones. So all looking soft this morning. Eventually gets to the Nifty 50, and well, I think this is in a bigger structure. I think I covered it last week briefly in one of the videos, but I'm looking at this sort of big structure that's sort of running here, and I think it's on in some sort of either correct impulse or corrective wave. But to me, I think if the other markets are all selling off, it could be following the world markets as a whole, and run with it. It's certainly putting the signs in it at the moment. So erring more so on the bearish side of things there. Okay, hopefully that's covered what you wanted on that. As I say, we're catching these bounces a little bit in Europe at the moment, and it's catching a little bounce on the Nifty 50 at the moment. I wouldn't have thought the current moves are all over yet. Now we could see some significant moves coming into tomorrow. I know it's not dollar backed or anything like this, but just the markets in general tend to somewhat stay with one another, and we could just see this sort of correction change for at least a short while whilst that's happening. Okay, that's pretty much it for me today. A bit of a long one, but as I say, wanted to cover the Bitcoin question I had there. Have a great day, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.